Hello, everyone. My personal project is to give you guys a comprehensive understanding of weed, and today I will be doing that by telling you guys what weed is and how it works and functions with the chemicals that already exist in our brain. Weed is a psychoactive plant which, when smoked or consumed, creates a hazy feeling for the user. It may make them feel slow or drowsy or even energetic, but all of that depends on what kind of strain the weed is. To properly understand how weed functions with the chemicals in our brain, we need to first understand how our brain functions. We have millions of neurons in our brain that process information, and they do so by releasing chemicals called neurotransmitters from the axon of one neuron to the dendrite of another one. When the neurotransmitters are released, they change the electrical charge of the receiving neuron and consequently excite or inhibit that neuron. And the signal is only passed on when the neuron is excited. Although this sounds very simple, these signals work together and the effect is quickly compounded into complex configurations within milliseconds, flushing over the entire brain. Unlike alcohol, which contains complex chemicals that aren't similar to the chemicals in our body, weed has chemicals called cannabinoids which already exist within us. Although these circulate in very small amounts, contrasting to the heavy influx brought in when smoking or consuming weed in other forms, they are real and they very much exist. We have these shapes in our brains called cannabinoid receptors. Now, you must be wondering, why do we have cannabinoid receptors? Well, I had the same question when I first heard about it. I thought this must mean that we were meant to smoke weed, but that is not true. These cannabinoid receptors produce chemicals called endocannabinoids, such as anandamide, which are essential in helping us maintain homeostasis for our body, which is essentially our body's ability to take care of itself, fight off diseases, and keep itself in shape. Marijuana contains a specific compound cannabinoid called tetrahydrocannabinol, or THC, which resembles a natural neurotransmitter called anandamide, which I mentioned earlier. These cannabinoids are special neurotransmitters released by neurons having just fired. Neurons temporarily become unresponsive after firing to prevent them from overreacting or being too dominant. This allows our brain to function in a calm and controlled manner. And an influx of these neuroreceptors in our brain creates a phenomenon which we know as being high. This is when things slow down, people feel happy or relaxed, and may even laugh incessantly and unnecessarily. People all over the world consume weed illegally. Now, although there are some countries which have legalized it, where people can freely smoke weed for recreational and medicinal uses. People smoke weed to relax, they smoke it to get rid of pain, they also smoke it when prescribed by their doctors to treat certain diseases such as glaucoma, eye cataracts, anxiety, etc. Today we saw the chemical compounds that exist within weed and how they are similar to the one that already exists within our brain. We also looked at how these chemicals function with the pre-existing systems in our brain to create the feeling or phenomenon that we know as being high. Thank you for watching. In the next part, we will be looking at weed's history and its abuse, especially in the Indian subcontinent. We will also be talking to a special guest and listening to his views of weed in society.